Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the Boox InkSense. It has finally arrived, so I'm able to test it out and show it to you guys how it works on the Boox Go 7, the monochromatic version. The Go Color 7 Gen 2 hasn't arrived yet, so I can't really show you how it works there. But I think it's safe to assume that both devices are going to perform, if not the same, then very, very similarly when handwriting is concerned, because the dominant factor is going to be the Boox InkSense. Boox InkSense is meant to be used with the Go 7, the monochromatic version, and the Go Color 7 Gen 2. In the box you get the pen itself, and you get 1, 2, 3, count them, extra 3 nibs, but there's no way to easily hold these, so they have to be, or the best way to store them is in a box so that they don't get bent, damaged, or lost. The pen itself is really nothing special. It's a standard type of an active USI 2.0 pen. It has a plastic button that's there's no real eraser button functionality, so to speak. It's not a magnetic pen, so it cannot magnetically clap onto devices. That's mainly because the Go 7 and Go 7 Color 2 don't have that capability. It's not wirelessly charged, therefore, so it has to be charged via the USB-C, and it does have an LED indication here while it is being charged. It's not a perfectly round shape, so it's wider, narrow, kind of an elliptical cross section here. And as far as the nib goes, well, yeah, that's basically what you get. And it's hard plastic, doesn't really have any kind of softness on the top. Metal pin in here that goes into the metal holder in there, which is a good thing, because if it was metal on plastic, that would not have been good. It does have a little bit of amortization here, but honestly, the amount of pressure that it takes to activate this is extraordinarily a lot. The build quality here, I believe this is aluminum because it feels like it, and in the hand it's okay, but I'm not really a fan of this type of cross section. And during the initial testing, after about 15 minutes, your hand starts to get a little bit tired. All right, but what about the writing aspect of this pen? Well, first of all, I'm going to flip the device this way around, because my initial testing was as soon as I would get to the right hand side, I would press the button and flip a page inadvertently. However, the cool thing about the Go 7 and having these buttons is that you can override the often faulty and problematic palm rejection detection on Boox devices. So in a notebook, you can actually turn off the touch flipping of the pages and use these buttons to flip pages that way, which is great. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter because this thing, it just sucks. One of the things to know is that when you go to settings and you first want to pair your stylus to your device, you have to go to settings and stylus, and once you enable it, it will ask you, hey, do you want to enable the notebooks as well functionality? And once you do, then you actually get the notebook functionality added here, and then Go 7 transforms into a regular e-notebooks tablet. I'm adjusting to the new equipment, new camera, and new setup and everything, so I'm not really sure if the previous footage, the autofocus, was getting really confused or not. I hope not, but I've changed it now, so now it should remain far more stable, I think. If the autofocus was out of focus, I apologize for that, but now it has been corrected and hopefully that's not longer going to be an issue. The writing experience with the InkSense. Well, It's not really surprising that the writing experience is absolutely dreadful, because we have a hard plastic nib that doesn't really have any kind of roughness or surface that would offer a proper type of friction, that goes against a very, very smooth, not paper-like surface of the screen of the Go 7, which is also a hard glass. So you have hard plastic on hard glass, both of which are smooth and none of which have any kind of intention to make it more comfortable or pleasant to write. So the end result is absolutely dreadful. So that's the writing feel, and that's something that I honestly was expecting. I really didn't expect anything other than that, because it's fairly clear. However, the two other aspects that are quite negative with both Go 7 and primarily with this pen are the writing precision and the writing latency. Writing precision is actually really, really bad. This nib is super duper uber wide. And on a smaller device like this, you simply have zero impression of where this type of a nib is going to end up. And that means that if you're just writing on this and you have a normal type of narrower lines, fine writing, it's not only difficult because of the pen nib, but it's also, for some reason, the pen itself is not precise enough to write fine things and fine details. And these things, yeah, all the details just basically get lost. And what's sent from the pen to the device is not good at all. And the third aspect is, well, you can actually see it here. While not catastrophic, definitely not a terrible writing latency, but it's not great either. I haven't really measured it yet, because this is something that's going to be part of the in-depth review of the Go 7 device. Hopefully this is going to be in the low 40 or maybe super high 30 millisecond range when you are writing, especially if you are writing on something more fine. Then you can definitely see the line trailing behind this super thick nib. So not a good combo altogether. One of the main questions as well was like, hey, they are saying that InkSpire is specifically tilt compatible, and does that mean that this one is not tilt compatible? Nope, it doesn't mean that at all, because you do have tilt normally present here. As far as the pressure sensitivity goes, I mean, that's basically where the amortization comes into play. And I think that it's just not that good, simply because the lowest levels are inaccessible to you. So as soon as you start writing the lowest levels of those 4096 levels of pressure sensitivity, they're simply not accessible, because this brush, I know this brush, it's supposed to be able to have a much wider dynamic range, and you should be able to get like the thinnest of the lines. There we can get a little bit of it tiny, but I'm just there we go, even barely brushing on it, and it immediately goes up. And the widest brush is basically, yeah, constantly there. One thing that's okay is that the trailing of a very wide brush is not that bad compared to, yeah, some of the other devices, especially smaller devices like this, but it is still quite noticeable. And nope, the rear does not work as an eraser, but the button does. Right, now what about the InkSpire pen? This is the pen that you cannot buy, that Boox includes so far only with the Tab XC. So this is the more premium version, and definitely it feels like it, especially in the hand. But the bizarre thing is that not only do you not have the eraser here, but you don't even have the button. So the extra functionality that you had here of the eraser and the button, you don't have it here. Thankfully, we do have the AI gestures on the Boox platform, so you can go around that way. But if you are yeah, if you want to use the button, well, you can't. The nib itself is a little bit different, so it's a different standard. They are not interchangeable, and there is a little bit of a smoother, kind of a rubbery-ish layer on the very top of the nib for the InkSpire, which gives a different writing feel for sure. So once you start writing on it, that feels different and it feels a lot more pleasant than this one, right? However, the driver configuration is not really there. And while the InkSpire pen can work on somehow, it does have these bugs, and you can see it very clearly. Yeah, as I draw these lines, there's always a dot happening, and then those are like random brush strokes interpretation. But the best way that you can actually see how incompatible this actually is, because the driver simply doesn't support this, is when you're using a much thicker brush and you start going in quicker lines, you can see that the refresh rate of the pen is simply not the same as when you're using this one. So will it function? Yes. But is it compatible? Nah, I wouldn't really call that compatible, that you can use the InkSpire on the Go 7. One thing I would like to show you, though, is the difference in the nib quality and the writing experience. Tappity tappy tap, tap 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 crap. What about the other way around? Does this pen work on the Tab XC? And yes, it does. It does work pretty much normally on the Tab XC, but the thing is that this pen, as you've seen, sounds and feels a lot better, like many categories above. And also when I tested this pen on the Tab XC, it became even more apparent that the precision issues are basically down to the pen itself mostly, not so much to the device. It was an all-around inferior experience to an already included pen that you would get with that device or the Tab XC. So there's absolutely zero reason to even consider using this pen on the Tab XC. That is the Boox InkSense, the Active USI 2.0 stylus for use with Go 7 and Go 7 Gen 2. You are not completely locked down to just this pen because, as I said, this is a USI 2.0 standard. So there are definitely better pens than this one available out there that will work with the Go 7 and the Go 7 Gen 2. However, none of them are going to come close to even the most mediocre of EMR Wacom pens, and I just don't get it. This was a perfect opportunity to create something truly awesome in the package of Go 7, to turn this excellent e-reader into an e-note taker as well, a portable e-note taker that has all of the standard Boox note-taking capabilities, and it would have been an absolute no-brainer as an overall device were it not for this bizarre decision to go for the active stylus this time. Is it usable? Absolutely, it's usable. You can use it, but the experience overall is subpar to basically any modern, or in the recent time modern-ish, type of e-note taking devices that utilize the use of standard Wacom EMR layer and styluses. Well, okay then, so that's the Boox InkSense, the new pen for the Boox devices that is optional, thankfully, because it doesn't really ramp up the price of the Go 7, which is, in all its rights, an excellent e-reader. So yeah, in summary, it's not really comfortable to write with. It does have an eraser functionality, but the pressure of the button is a little bit too hard. The nib itself is super hard and smooth and very uncomfortable to write any kind of content, let alone prolonged sessions, especially on the harder glass surface of the Go 7. And if that's not enough, then you have the precision issues and the latency issues. But for me, the absolute worst of these three dominant negative factors of this pen is the precision. And it's clear as day that it's just down to the pen, because on the same device, you just take the other pen, which has some driver issues and things like that, but immediately when you start using it, you see that the precision level goes way up, and same way around when you use this pen on another device that's using the InkSpire pen, then you see the precision kind of levels go down. So that means that it's, without a shadow of a doubt, the precision issue is down to the InkSense pen, unfortunately. So since that is an optional extra for the Go 7, should you buy one? I think that under no circumstances should you buy this pen, because you're better off regarding the Go 7 as a dedicated e-reader and not a writing device than to struggle around with something like this. I would wholeheartedly suggest that you go to mydeepguide Discord. You have the invite link down in the description below, because in the Boox channel there's an ongoing discussion with several users who are experimenting now with other UFI 2.0 pens, because quite a lot of users are trying to make the best out of the Go 7's writing capabilities, but rightfully so, nobody's really happy with this pen, which I'm not really personally surprised, because it's objectively really bad. So I think that the best piece of advice that I can give you at this point, because I don't have any of these other pens to test out, but I think it's worth going to my mydeepguide Discord and checking out the Boox channel and seeing what people say who have had already the first-hand experience, and they can help you out further and maybe share their experiences and recommendations about alternative pens that you may want to try out and use for the Go 7. Alright, that's it for me. I hope that you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and ding the notification bell in the description below to get notified when new videos come out on mydeepguide. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!